trying to make sense of it all. At first, the amount of information in Bible prophecy can seem daunting, but actually some of the basics aren't that hard. It's like coming to a building site and trying to work out where to start and where things go. Fortunately, we have great teachers from the past who have gone before us and done a lot of the work already. Some things are easy to understand, some things are harder, and some things are still not understood. The next illustration is my attempt to show what some of the issues are in looking for patterns in the Bible. So this illustration here, you've got a lot of numbers and dates and events from the Bible, and that's the sort of thing we're faced with. How do we know what order things go in and what kind of a pattern is there to it all? So we know from the Bible that creation started with Adam and Eve, because the Bible tells us that he created them in the beginning. So we're pretty safe to put that at the start. We know that the flood comes after that, a long time after that, 1,656 Bible years after that. And then we know there's the birth of Abraham. That's about 2008 years after creation. Then looking at what I've got here, there's the Exodus. There's the decree of Artaxerxes, which comes in here. No, I've just seen we've got other things that go in before that. So we've got Solomon starting with temple, and there's one here. Abraham leaves Haran, so that's an important event. So obviously that comes after the birth of Abraham. I'm just doing this to kind of try and illustrate a pattern of thought. So we call the creation of Abraham year one. Flood be year 1656. Birth of Abraham is in 2008. All these, well, not all of them, some of these date years are disputed, but Solomon finishes the temple. We can put that one in there. Abraham left Haran after 75 years. After his birth. What have we got next? Decree of Artaxerxes, I think that goes in there. That would have been, it's either 445 or 444 BC. Bible tells us, that's a later one. We know it took 7 years for Solomon to complete the temple. Just put that over here a minute. We've got the crucifixion, which we know was 483 years after the decree of Artaxerxes. I'm not going through all the details because you can find that details for all this on the website. So the catching away or the rapture will be here. And that happens in the blink of an eye. Solomon actually, as it took 7 years to complete the temple, and he finished it exactly 3,000 years after creation. So that shouldn't be there. He started the temple in 2,993 years after creation. And the Exodus was there. The main thing we have to remember is our guiding principle is that the whole of history occurs in a 7,000 year period. Okay, starting from where I left off, this arrow here is to indicate that there are 7,000 years in human history, starting with the creation of Adam. So we got as far as the catching away, which is followed by the time of Jacob's trouble, which is a 7-year period. That is then followed by the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ, which is from the year 6,000 to the year 7,000, and then we have the very final day, which is Judgment Day, and that is at the end of the 7,000 years, the very last day, as it has to take into account everything that's happened throughout the course of human history. So I've just done that to try and indicate how, when we're looking at patterns in the Bible, there's a lot to take into account. I could have put hundreds and hundreds of things on this chart, but that's just to give a basic outline. So anyway, we end up with a chart like that. And of course it does beg a lot of questions. The website tries to answer some of them. For example, how long is a year in the Bible? Why don't calendar years match up with Bible prophecy years? Why haven't the first 6,000 years of creation ended yet? Why can't we make it all fit together neatly? What's next on God's timeline? So there's many more questions to be answered. And obviously I'm updating the site all the time, trying to bring new information onto it. And I hope we can try to work together to work out some of the answers. Thanks for listening.